Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. So in the other lecture we studied about classification of animal kingdom. Animal kingdom is divided into two subkingdom non-chordates and subkingdom chordates. Okay, so subkingdom non-chordates is divided into 10 different phylum, and subkingdom chordates consists of one phylum, that is phylum Chordata. Phylum Chordata is divided into three different subphylum. Subphylum Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. Vertebrata consists of 6 classes. Okay, hope you have understood the classification. Now, this classification is based on some criteria which was put forward by Robert Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification. So, it is a traditional method. So, based on that, there are some points which we have to learn, which is very important. So, today we will see the criteria for classification of animal kingdom. The first criteria is grades of organization. Okay, the first criteria is grades of organization. That means how the cells are graded or organized. Okay, you had studied in your earlier classes that there is a cell, different cells combine together to form a tissue, different tissues combine together to form an organ, different organs combine together to form an organ system, and different organ systems make an organism. Okay, but this is in case of highly developed organisms. But there are organisms which are made up of only one cell, which are made up of different cells. Okay, that is multicellular, but they don't combine together to form a tissue. That means all cells are staying together, but there is no tissue. Then there are organisms which are having tissue, but there are no organs. Then there are organisms which are having organs but do not have organ systems. Okay, but that is the grades of organization. That means first there is a cell, then different cells together, then cell to tissue, tissue to organ, and organ to organ system. I'll explain with the help of example. You may see the grades of organization. There are 5 grades. The first one is protoplasmic grade. Protoplasmic grades means it is unicellular. For example, amoeba, it is unicellular. It consists of only single cell. Whatever activities has to be done, it is done by that single cell only. Okay, the only cell carries out all the reactions of that organism. Okay, the second one is cellular grade. That means there are several cells, but those cells do not combine together to form a tissue. That is cellular grade. For example, porifera. Porifera example is hydra. Okay, cycon or sponges. Sponges are organisms which belong to phylum Porifera. In that sponges, all the cells just remain together. They stay together. Okay, but they do not combine together to form a tissue. So it is said to be cellular grade. The third one is cell tissue grade. Cell tissue grade means there are cells also, there are tissues also present in that body of the organism. That, for example, Cnidaria, that is hydra, it has some tissues but it has mainly cells. The fourth one is tissue organ grade. In case of these organisms, for example, flatworms, some organs are present, but it is not like us. Okay, complete system of organ systems are not present. Some organs are seen in their body. So that is tissue organ grade. The fifth one is organ system grade. For example, humans, we are having different systems. Systems means excretory system, digestive system, nervous system, skeletal system. Okay, these are the different systems in our body. So our body consists of different systems, isn't it? So this is the first criteria, that is grade of organization. Protoplasmic grade, cellular grade, cell tissue grade, tissue organ grade, and organ system grade. Okay, hope you have understood. Now the next is body symmetry. You have studied symmetry in your maths subject. Okay, symmetry means which is similar on both sides. First one is asymmetrical. Asymmetrical means if you cut it from any plane, if you cannot cut it into two equal parts, then it is said to be asymmetrical. For example, amoeba is asymmetrical. Okay, if you cut it into two parts at any plane, both sides, both parts won't be equal. Next is radial symmetry. In case of radial symmetry, if you cut it horizontally, for example starfish, if you cut it horizontally, the upper part and the lower part will be similar. Okay, it could be done at any plane. If you do it at any plane, then the both parts could be equal. That is said to be radial symmetry. Next is bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry means if you cut longitudinally at longitudinal plane, then both the sides are equal. That is said to be bilateral symmetry. The example they have given in your textbook is goat, but you may consider yourself if you cut a doll. Okay, if you cut a doll into two parts longitudinally, the left hand side and the right hand side would be similar to each other. That is said to be bilateral symmetry. So these are the three types of body symmetry, which is the second criteria, that is asymmetrical, radial symmetry or bilateral symmetry. Next is germ layers. Germ layers means the layers of skin, okay, the layers of the cell which is present inside the body. Okay, so first I will revise about the formation of a zygote. Okay, about the formation of a zygote. There is a sperm. It is in case of us. I am giving you the example of our body. Sperm plus ovum will give you one diploid zygote. It will give you one diploid zygote. Now zygote means one cell. It is a single cell. Okay, it is only one cell with diploid, that is two sets of chromosomes. Are we made up of only one cell? No, we are made up of millions and trillions of cells, isn't it? So from that one cell divides and redivides and redivides and we grow. It is not that one cell grow into my bigger cell. It is not like that. That one cell grows for a little bit of time and after that it divides into two. Okay, now this cell, it divides into two. Now after that it divides into four. And it divides and divides and divides and divides. It forms a ball of cells which is called as blastocyst. Okay, after forming a blastocyst, till here we had studied that the blastocyst develops into an embryo. Okay, the blastocyst develops into an embryo. Embryo is the smallest the smallest part of an animal which is having mostly all the organs, mostly all the systems inside their body. That means when we are formed, when we are a baby, we are having all type of organ systems in our body. But before the formation of that baby, that means when we are a zygote, it is a single cell. That single cell divides and redivides to form a ball of cells. Okay, that forms a ball of cells. From that ball of cells, those cells, I will tell you in normal language, they distribute the work. Okay, they distribute the work and decide to do what type of work and they separate. Okay, in case of non-chordates, in some organisms, they form two different layers. That is said to be diploblastic. If it forms two different layers of cells, then it is said to be diploblastic. If it forms three layers of cells, it is said to be triploblastic. Okay, that means if there are two layers of cells, it is said to be diploblastic, and if there are three layers of cells, it is said to be triploblastic. Okay, now this diploblastic means, you may see there is an outer ectoderm and inner endoderm, and in between there is a dead layer. That means that layer remains as it is in the body of the organism. Now in case of us, for example, the outer layer ectoderm, it forms the skin part and the nervous system and all. In case of an endoderm, okay, the endoderm forms, the ectoderm forms the outer lining of the body and the nervous system. The endoderm forms the inner lining of the body. for example, alimentary canal, digestive system, it is formed by endoderm. And what does mesoderm do? Mesoderm forms the inner lining of all these organs. Okay, inner lining of all these organs, and mesoderm generally forms the skeletal system and muscular system, then circulatory system. Okay, now this is studied, but it is not there in your syllabus. You only have to understand, if it is made up of 2 layers, it is diploblastic. If it is made up of 3 layers, it is triploblastic. Diploblastic means it is made up of 2 layers, that is ectoderm and endoderm. In the middle there is a dead layer which is non-functional. Okay, in the case of triploblastic organisms, there are 3 layers: endoderm, ectoderm and mesoderm. Endoderm forms the inner lining, the inner parts of the body. The outer lining is formed by ectoderm, and the other parts, for example skeletal systems, circulatory system in our body, it is formed by mesoderm. That means the mesoderm is functional in case of triploblastic. The underdeveloped organisms, that means which are not so developed, they are diploblastics. There are some organisms which are diploblastic, but most of the organisms are triploblastic. Okay, that we will see when we study the characteristics of each and different type of phyla. Okay, now the next is body cavity. There are 3 types of body cavity: eucoelomate, pseudocoelomate and acoelomate. Eucoelomate means, for example, they have given earthworm. Okay, earthworm is eucoelomate. Eucoelomate means there is a body cavity. Now this body cavity is having the term is called the term coelom. The coelom. Okay, that means coelom means body cavity, whether there is body cavity or not. Okay, that is the criteria. If there is true body cavity, then it is said to be eucoelomate. If there is half body cavity, then it is said to be pseudocoelomate, that is false body cavity, it is said to be pseudocoelomate. And if it is not having any body cavity, it is said to be acoelomate. Okay, now I will tell you in simple words. Eucoelomate means, in our body there is a digestive system, an alimentary canal in the center, and then there are blood vessels, then there are different organs like of circulatory system, of excretory system. All these organs are kept separately with each other. It is not that heart is connected to lungs. Okay, heart is not attached to lungs. There are blood vessels which connect them, but all the organs are separate. I had told you last year, if you take a skeletal system and you tie the different organs to the skeleton, okay, there will be vacant places left, isn't it? Okay, that could be considered to be a body cavity. That means this mesoderm, endoderm and ectoderm, it forms a setup inside the body. It is completely filled. There are no vacant spaces. That is said to be true body cavity. Don't go for the dictionary meaning of cavity. Cavity means, in case of dictionary, it is a vacant space. In case of us, in our body, there is no vacant space, but they are all compactly filled, but it is filled with fluid, it is filled with blood, isn't it? But that is said to be eucoelomate, that is true body cavity. In case of pseudocoelomate, there are some organs, some systems are completely formed, some systems are not completely formed. Okay, that means the digestive system is half formed. For example, I am telling you, a digestive system, it has some organs of digestive system but not the complete digestive system. Such condition, such criteria is said to be pseudocoelomate. In case of acoelomate, those organisms do not have a true body cavity. That means their mesoderm, I am telling it to an example, the mesoderm, they are present as dead layers. There are non-functional cells inside. It is said to be no body cavity. Understood? That is said to be a coelomate. That means which do not have a coelom. A coelomate means which do not have coelom. Pseudocoelomate means which has a false coelom, and eucoelomate means which is having true coelom. Coelom means body cavity. Hope you have understood. So you remove from your heads cavity means a vacant space first of all, then study about it. That is eucoelomate means which is true coelom. True coelom means in which all the organs are separate and kept systematically. Okay, in case of pseudocoelomate, there are spaces where there are half organs are formed, half organs are not formed, like that. And acoelomates means the complete system. There is a particular part which consists of only cells which are not functional. Okay, so that is said to be acoelomate. This is the fourth criteria, that is body cavity. And the fifth criteria is body segmentation. In case of these organisms, the body is divided into different segments. For example, in case of earthworm, their body consists of segments like this. These are said to be metamerically segmented. Their body is metamerically segmented. Each segments are different. If the body is divided into different segments or not, that is the criteria, that is body segmentation. Okay, now this is the criteria which has been given according to our syllabus, according to this type of classification. There might be other criteria also. So what are the different criteria? Grades of organization, body symmetry, germ layers, body cavity, and body segmentation. What are the different grades of organization? Protoplasmic grade, cellular grade, cell tissue grade, tissue organ grade, and organ system grade. Body symmetry: asymmetrical, radially symmetrical, bilateral symmetrical. Germ layers: diploblastic, triploblastic. Diploblastic means it is made up of endoderm, ectoderm. Triploblastic means it is made up of endoderm, mesoderm, ectoderm. Body cavity: based on body cavity, it is divided into three: eucoelomate, pseudocoelomate, acoelomate. Body segmentation: whether body segmentation is there or not. So this is the criteria for classification of animal kingdom. Now you may see page number 64. Okay, page number 64. In those paragraphs they have given this part. Okay, now the diagrams. Figure 6.5, the diagram of a cycon. There is an outlet which is called as oscula, and there are some cells, specialized cells in their body, which are called as collar cells, or each of these cells function separately. Next is the example of cell tissue organization. They have given a jellyfish. There are some cell parts, there are some tissue parts. Next is tissue organ grade organization. There are some tissue parts, there are some organ parts. Okay, the example given is planaria. The diagram of jellyfish and the diagram of planaria could be given and labeling could be asked. Page 65, figure 6.8, that is organ system grade organization. They have given the picture of a human body. Towards the right, you may fill up mouth, heart, bone, kidney, muscle. Towards the left, you may write brain, lungs, liver, blood vessel, and skin. That is skin of the thigh. Okay, you may mark it. I repeat, towards the right, mouth, heart, bone, kidney, muscle. Towards the left, brain, lungs, liver, blood vessel, and skin, that is thigh. If there are any changes in your school, you may write, no problem. Next is about body symmetry. The diagrams given, figure 6.9, asymmetrical body, radial symmetry, and bilateral symmetry. Okay, so radial symmetry is at any angle if you cut it, and bilateral symmetry is longitudinal. Next is germ layers, diploblastic, triploblastic. You have to study what is diploblastic and what is triploblastic. Page number 66, body cavity, coelom, figure 6.11, that is animal types as per body cavity, eucoelomate, pseudocoelomate, acoelomate. You may read it and write the examples. Okay. Now you may copy this in your notebook. This is a chart given in the textbook for showing the criteria for animal classification. Okay, you may see there are the different phylum. You have studied about different phylum. So we will see the kingdom Animalia, which is multicellular and without cell wall. It is divided into two types of body organization, cellular grade and tissue organ or organ system grade. Okay, that is multicellular, so they haven't written protoplasmic grade. Okay, protoplasmic grade means which is made up of only one cell. So here this chart is about multicellular. So body organization, cellular grade, body symmetry, asymmetrical body, body cavity, acoelomate, phylum Porifera. Okay, that means phylum Porifera consists of organisms which are acoelomate, which are having asymmetrical body and which are of cellular grade. So phylum Porifera belong to, okay, all the organisms which are underdeveloped. It consists of underdeveloped organisms. That means they do not have a true coelom. Their body is asymmetrical and their body is of cellular grade. Now the next is Cnidaria. Okay, Cnidaria, that means phylum Coelenterata. They are also acoelomate, but they are of radial symmetry. But what is the difference from this? They are having tissue organ grade. Okay, so it is having tissue organ or organ system grade. They are not of organ system grade, tissue organ grade. Now the next is Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes means tapeworms. They are acoelomate. They are showing bilateral symmetry and they are organ to organ system grade. Okay. Next is Aschelminthes. Aschelminthes means roundworms. They are pseudocoelomate. Okay. You may see acoelomate, 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 pseudocoelomate, eucoelomate. Eucoelomate are the developed organisms. Okay. And bilateral symmetry are the developed organisms. Organ system is present in developed organisms. So Aschelminthes, they are pseudocoelomate. They show bilateral symmetry and they show tissue organ or organ system grade. Next is eucoelomate, bilateral symmetry and organ system grade. All those organisms, which are those organisms? Those organisms which belong to phylum Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata and Chordata. So these are the developed organisms and this is the most developed one. Okay, so you may see the development goes on increasing like this. These are underdeveloped and as the evolution went by, the development increased and it became more and more developed organism, evolved ones. Okay, so I'll repeat the chart. The first one is phylum Porifera. They are acoelomate. They are having asymmetrical body and they are having cellular grade organization. Next is Cnidaria. They are acoelomate. They are having radial symmetry. They are having tissue organ or organ system grade. Platyhelminthes. They are acoelomate. They show bilateral symmetry and they are having tissue organ or organ system grade. Aschelminthes, they are pseudocoelomate. That means they are having false body cavity. Some organs are present, some organs are absent. They show bilateral symmetry and tissue organ or organ system grade. Eucoelomate, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata. All these are eucoelomate. That means they are having a true body cavity. They show bilateral symmetry and they show tissue organ or organ system grade type of organization. Chordata also. Okay, so this is the chart. The chart could be given. They could give you blanks and ask the chart. Okay, so the chart is important. So today we studied about two long answer question. One is the criteria for classification. You have to write all the points according to the chart. You may write the points, no problem. Okay, you can make your own answer by drawing the chart. After drawing the chart, you may make your own answer by writing all the points. Okay, whatever I have written in the chart, all those points are essential in your answer. Okay, next is about this chart. Okay, if you're having any doubt, you may ask. Okay, thank you.